Lillian de Waters in the Finished Kingdom, 1925. Chapter 4. Raise the Dead. Many are asking, what is the fourth dimension? What is cosmic consciousness? We have been taught that the world is three-dimensional, but in reality, a dimension transcends length, breadth, and thickness. As a straight line is but the extension of the dot, so the fourth dimension of life is the infinite extension of all the other three dimensions. Scientifically speaking, life has no dimension, for how can that which is all have dimension or space? 4 signifies unlimited direction, infinity. There is a law within a law. There is a sight within a sight. There is a hearing within a hearing. There is a world within a world. There is a city that lieth foursquare. The fourth dimensional world has timeless time and spaceless space. No time is herein, for all is the ever-present now. No space is here, for all is the forever here. This is the plane of birthless and deathless isness. Here we need no light of the sun for radiance or heat, for the I am that I am is the light of the world and the glory thereof. It is the plane of infinity, in which is nothing to obstruct, nothing to hinder. Closed doors matter not. Lions' mouths are of no account. Tongues have not hurting power. Prison bars or manacled wrists are as nothing. The fourth dimensional world is the plane of the miracle, the plane of the I am, the plane of the risen Christ, the plane of the finished kingdom. It is the heavenly realm, the realm of heavenly law, the realm of ministering angels, the realm of quick deliverance, the realm of the perfect land. Cosmic consciousness is the consciousness of universal good, the consciousness that sees God face to face, that talks with angels, that hears the still small voice, that recognizes I am the great deliverer, the omnipotent omnipresence, the birthless, deathless, causeless one, the self-existent. This plane is not seen with outer eyes, or heard with outer ears, or recognized with the reasoning faculty. This plane is within us and above us. Our great teacher sometimes spoke of the Father within, and again he spoke of the Father above. The Christ kingdom is within the self, and it is also above the other cosmic planes. Quote, except a man be born from above, he cannot see the kingdom of God. I saw a light from heaven above, the brightness of the sun. Seek those things which are above. Every perfect gift is from above. End of quote. This realm has been called the supernatural or the supernal realm because it is above the natural or apparent order of life. Many who find satisfaction on the so-called material and mental planes believe impossible the things of above. They are foolishness to them because the above is unknown or not understood by them. This above realm has been called by some the mystical, as it is above the functions of the mind and holds the hidden secrets or mysteries of the kingdom of God. One of my earliest demonstrations of reality gave me an experience of cosmic consciousness. I had accepted a position as teacher in a public school. A few days later, the principal stepped into my room and asked me when I would be ready to take charge of the music. What was my amazement to discover, upon further conversation, that I was expected to play the piano each day for the morning assembly of all the children in the school. This meant marches and songs, and I knew not how to play. It seemed that I had signed the contract without noticing this requirement. I did not divulge my inability to play, but asked a few days' grace, which was granted me, and I was scheduled to begin the work on the following Monday morning. That night I thought it all over and concluded that since the position had come to me because of my application of truth, then there was a way in which I would be able to fulfill all requirements. What kind of truth would it be that would bring a right and desired thing to one and not make it possible for that one to perform his duties? The problem did not seem too hard or too difficult. Certainly, I could conceive of nothing impossible. Thus it was that the first thought out of the difficulty was this: buy a march and practice it. That night, after all the house had retired, I crept quietly into the living room, placed my newly acquired march before me, and seated myself at the piano. It meant nothing to me. The notes were like so many Greek figures, and my fingers were the same as little sticks. It was absolutely impossible. The mental plane, the method of thinking I could do it, was not sufficient for this problem. I sat still at the piano for several minutes until a ray of light came to me from within. It was this: there is only one way in which this difficulty can be surmounted. It is the way of faith. Have faith. Have faith in the Almighty power itself, and it will fulfill itself in you. Unhesitatingly, I answered, I will. The following day was Sunday. I never looked at the march, never gave it a thought, nor went to the piano. I spent the day in reading the Bible and books of spiritual nature. I read that nothing is impossible to him who believes. There was not an individual with whom I might speak of this task before me. I was in a strange city with strange people, but all day I companioned with universal God. When Monday morning arrived, I was in a peaceful and uplifted state. Picking up the Bible to read one last verse to carry with me in my trial, this was this verse that met my eager eyes. Quote, have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Joshua 1:5-9. I walked on the very air over the school building, my march held tightly in my hand, my gaze fixed high. It was the custom for all the teachers to be seated in the assembly hall, and the sounding of the gong was the signal for the music to begin. The gong sounded. Then the wonderful thing happened to me. All thought completely left me. I arose and walked toward the piano, while children, teachers, myself, all seemed blotted out of my vision. As in a dream, I placed the march before me and lifted my hands to the keys. At once, my fingers found the right notes as though they were hands other than mine. The music came, the children marched. In the same way, I played several songs that were announced and again replayed the march as the children returned to their respective rooms. As I struck the last note, I emerged from the state of cosmic consciousness and became the self of this plane again. Little did I then understand that I had reached a plane of consciousness where mind is governed by heavenly law and need not be taught. I had touched the all-knowing plane. Here knowledge is ever present. Jesus did not attend schools and colleges. He knew without this. He knew more than all his teachers. The Christ of God is ever all-knowing. Quote, "Two are ever in the field." This experience took the Christ of me and left the other. I took charge of the music for 2 years in that school. Many have asked, did not the thought come, suppose I fail, suppose I cannot play after I take my place at the piano? I can truthfully say such suggestions never came into my mind. I was not looking to myself to do the playing, because I knew I could not. I had clear vision, the vision of the one able to do all things. I had absolute faith, and behold the miracle. Reason can never attain to the heights of simple faith and childlike trust in the universal executive. Now, faith in ever-present omnipotence above us as within us is not blind faith. Faith in a power outside the individual self with a small self, S, as individual power, is not blind faith. It makes no difference whether we vision power as within us, the Christ, or as above us, the universal. It is all the same power. Quote, "Act as though I were, and thou shalt know I am." This was what I did. I not only believed, but I acted. Standing before hundreds of faces, fearless and victorious, facing up the one who ever says, "Fear not, I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. But thou strong and very courageous, for thyself is myself, I in thee, and thou in me." The plane of the fourth dimension is here and now. But it is objected, we do not see it, we do not feel it, we do not comprehend it. Where is our vision? Are we visioned toward it? Are we believing in it? Have we had faith in it? How many are looking to books and teachers, to laws and authorities, to money and houses, to things and thoughts, to relatives and friends, to the dead past and to the living dead spirits? How many are looking to the great unseen, the invisible plane, as one expectant watchful? Quote, "And when ye see this, your heart shall rejoice." Isaiah 66:14. Can we view the valley and look toward the heights at the same time? Can we draw out health while our vision is set toward sickness? Can we hear the still small voice while earthquakes and storms are raging within us? Can we find the Christ while we are wondering where the Christ is located? Whether it is within me or without me, above me or around me? Do I live in Christ, or does Christ live in me? Why reason ye? Why strain and labor and analyze? Does the fish question, what keeps me alive? Is it the water within me or the water without me? Does the flower question, why do I have to look up in order to grow up? Do you suppose Daniel argued with himself, quote, "What shall I do if the lions do come toward me?" Did Moses pause while passing through the Red Sea to think, suppose the waters come together before we reach the shore? Did Peter, bound with chains in the guarded prison, reason, how shall I think that I may break these chains? Put these soldiers to sleep, open the iron bolted gates, and escape unnoticed? Vision must be set to the highest. The eye must be single, and the faith supreme, that we experience the marvels of truth. To thee I am, the here and the there are the same. The past and the future are the now. The above and the below, the right and the left, the up and the down, the inner and outer, are one presence, one all. Even in hell, is not God there? Is not God the ever-present everywhere? Did not the Creator make both the inside and the outside? Wherever we look for God, there God is, whether in the sky or in the bottom of the ocean, whether in the air or above the air, whether in the past or in the future, whether on this plane or on the next, whether within us or without us. Lo, God is all in all, the high and the low, the here and the there, the in and the out, the up and the down, the visible and the invisible, the seen and the unseen. Can we locate our mentality? Can we locate our soul? Can we locate the power that makes our heart beat? Can we locate the power that winks our eyelids? Can we locate the power that causes us to be? Can we locate the Christ within us or without us? Do we reason, quote, "It is over my head, in front of me, at my right side, at my left side, before me, behind me. Will this reasoning take us to the heights? Will this reasoning show us the finished kingdom? And does it matter where, when all where is here and all there is now, all to be is, all future has been, and all that is was, all that is without us is within us, and all that is within us is without us. Let him who thinketh there is a within, individual, God, but there is no without, universal God, search the inspired word more carefully. Let him who thinketh there is a without, universal God, but there is no within, individual Christ of God, enlarge and illumine his knowing. Is not God one God? Is not the one God the all God? Can there be any within and without to that which is all? Let us have a care that we do not swallow camels while we strain out gnats, and let us hear and meditate upon the words of the morning star. Quote, Ye fools, did not he that made that which is without make that which is within also? Luke 11:40. He of high watch announced, quote, The wind bloweth where it listeth, and thou hearest the sound thereof, but canst not tell whence it cometh and whither it goeth. John 3:8. It was the beloved disciple, the revelator of divine things, who proclaimed, quote, And the length is as large as the breadth. The length and the breadth and the height are equal. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, the first and the last. Let us cease locating the I am, and wherever we look, let us know there is the I am. There are many in the past history of the world who have had touches of the fourth dimension, the realm of no restrictions, the realm of the miracle, the realm of ministering angels. Daniel said, quote, My God has sent his angels and has shut the lions' mouths. And when Peter was put between two soldiers in the prison and bound with chains, quote, Lo, the angel of the Lord came upon him, and the light shined in the prison, and his chains fell off from his hands. The iron gate opened to them of his own accord, and the angel departed from him. Acts 12:7-10. The books of the Old Testament are filled with chronicles of ministering angels, and great ones tell us of seeing angels, speaking with angels, seeing their great light. Those who have themselves heard the voice, seen the light, felt the touch, know and understand. In our own time, many have been the remarkable instances and experiences attending white light. Soldiers on the battlefields saw and felt it. A friend from North Carolina writes that after years of both mental and bodily suffering from troubles for which there seemed to be no relief, quote, Death, that great nightmare of the phantom world, came to claim him. At that moment, he was suddenly lifted into the plane above and recognized the nothingness of death. Directly over the head of his bed rested a great halo of brilliant, soft light, brighter than any electric light he had ever beheld. He declares there was a spiritual or supernal force in the room that was irresistible, drawing him up and on, and making clear to him that in reality he had never been sick, that he lived, moved, and had his being in God's kingdom right here and now, that this is life's glorious city of New Jerusalem. The room seemed filled with the water of life, flowing in every direction and filling his consciousness with divine joy and inspiration. Then the vision ceased. He opened his eyes, knew that he was healed, and arose from what had seemed his deathbed, whole. He declared that for days afterward he felt as though he were walking on air. He seemed so light and free and glorious. A London magazine contains the following account of a miraculous healing. Quote, friends and neighbors of Dorothy Karen of Herne Hill, London gathered at her deathbed. The doctors said she could not live until the morning. During the last fortnight, she never moved her position, was blind and deaf and unconscious. She had been confined to her bed for 5 years, had been attended by 28 doctors, and turned out of the hospitals incurable. Such was her condition, and the end had come. As mother and friends stood near, she seemed to breathe her last. For 8 minutes her lungs ceased to breathe, and her heart ceased to beat, and they deemed her dead. But at this moment, Dorothy declares, someone called her by her name 3 times. She replied, yes, I am listening. Who is it? And the voice said, listen. Then she saw a wonderful white light, and it came right over her bed. In the midst of the light stood an angel, who took her by her 2 hands and lifted her up, saying, Dorothy, your sufferings are over. Get up and walk. She then opened her eyes, and seeing her relatives about her, said, give me my dressing gown, I want to walk. They tried to hold her to the bed, but she firmly pushed them aside and, with eyes and ears opened, rose and walked. I feel as though I would like some supper, she said presently. After some reluctance, they brought her something to eat, and she ate it in the presence of them all, and to their great astonishment. The magazine further tells that crowds of people then came to see Dorothy. She interviewed 60 people the first day and 100 people the second day. Doctors took X-rays, photographs of her body, and found that instead of the 2 old wasted lungs, there were 2 quite new ones in their stead, and that she was every whit whole. The age of miracles is not past, but lo, heaven and miracles are still here for those who are watching for them. Quote, God is no respecter of persons. Truth is the same yesterday, today, and forever. This high state of consciousness is possible to all men. In this state, the true man, in quotes, the perfect man, in quotes, comes forth. Such illumination transcends the mind and its process of thinking. In no sense does one lose his identity, rather does he know his identity. Such states of illumination are called cosmic consciousness. Several years ago, according to the law of the lower planes, my child could be taken from me to the house of abominations, in quotes, because she was considered, upon medical examination, contaminated. I was granted 12 hours in which to heal her through spiritual means. Alone, in the silent watches of the night, I read in the book of life, quote, 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at that right hand, but it shall not come that nigh thee. Who? They who look up to the Most High, they who have the faith of God. All unconsciously, I obeyed the signs of the high plane, the plane of the Spirit. I looked up. I reached up. I beheld God and perfection as the all and the only. I saw no sick child. I saw no doctors. I saw no hospital. I saw the finished kingdom and the angels which are promised, and I believed. Presently great peace came to me, and I thought, oh, if only an angel would come and talk to me, as is recorded in Bible times. How I yearned for a sign to convince me that all is well. I opened the book of life, and my eyes fell upon these words, quote, and the Lord sent his angel, saying, I have heard thy prayer. This was enough. I closed the book. Nothing now mattered. I was in absolute peace. In the morning they came, they examined, they said, the conditions are the same, no change, we must take the child. Then the wonderful thing happened. The supramental, the above world came down to my sense, transcended the plane upon which I stood, and lo, semicircled around me and behind me, from the right hand to the left, I saw, I felt, I heard a host of angels. Fear not, was what they said. What was seen and felt could not be put in writing. I stood unafraid. Those before me took their eyes off the so-called material plane long enough to look at me and beyond me. What they saw, I not know. Suffice it to say, they reached for their hats and quietly left the room and house, and the child was instantaneously healed. Sacred as these things are, they must be told that others may see that the impossible is possible, that the supernatural is divinely natural, that the realm of the miracle is here and now, that the heavenly law transcends all. At another time, during the recent war, I spent several weeks in studying the 23rd Psalm, that I might write it in ringing tones for the soldiers. In this psalm, I saw God, the I Am, as the great deliverer, the able to do all things. I will quote the little verse I sent out in print across the seas. Quote, I shall fear no evil. Thou, truth and love, surround and protect me. Thy rod, the denial of evil's power, and thy staff, the affirmation of divine truth. They comfort and deliver me. Even though the shadow called death is round and about me, I shall not be afraid of it, for I know that I live in spirit, which is indestructible and deathless. The consciousness of the ever-presence of divine love and wisdom constantly protects me from all harm and danger, and I realize that I am housed in God, where no evil shall come nigh me. During the time that this was so fresh and filled all space in my consciousness, one evening I stepped into my car and started down the avenue. It was a very dark night, and I neglected to turn on my headlights. I had showing only the small dimmers. For the first time in my experience while driving a car, I forgot all about the driving, forgot what I was doing or where I was going. I was thinking only of this verse, that I was getting ready for the soldiers. All of a sudden, I came back to earth, in quotes, to find myself in a seemingly great and irresistible danger. I was going at a terrific rate of speed, and my car was entirely out of my control. On the left-hand side of the avenue, directly before my terrific speed, stood a horse and a wagon with one occupant. I could clearly see the red light that was carried on the wagon, and no doubt the driver, seeing me coming toward him at my uncontrolled rate of speed, had pulled his horse as far as he could to his right-hand side of the street. Nothing on the lower planes of life could save me now. There was but one way out. This way was the way of the miracle, the transcending fourth dimension. I did not think a thing. I did not have time. I did not do a thing. I couldn't. But had not I been looking up to the great deliverer, the able to do all things? In a twinkling of an eye, lo, all was changed. I felt myself in the car, moving as through the air. I entered the plane above, and I was distinctly conscious of passing through the horse and wagon, which were like a cloud, a mist or vapor. The glory and joy of it are too great to tell, for all that read these pages may not have the hearing ear. I was also conscious when I had passed through the horse and wagon, for I came out into clear space, open and free, and I travelled in this free space for some time. Then there was a quiet return to the natural order again. The car seemed to float from the air down to the earth, and I found myself in the center of the street, a half-mile from the spot in which the miracle took place, and my car moving as though I had just started it. The victorious Jesus worked on a plane above the three-dimensional plane. Where was the law of weight and strength when the stone rolled away and the grave opened up? Where was the law of time and place when he stepped into the ship and was directly found on the other side? Where was the law of limitation when he took 3 loaves and 2 small fishes and looking up fed the multitude with abundance? Jesus lived on a plane in which is spaceless space, in which is nothing to oppose. Facing the Father, he said, I thank thee, and I know that thou hearest me always. Then from this plane of consciousness, he saw the living Lazarus and called him, Come forth. He did not see blind men or deaf men or dying men. He had the vision of the perfect always within himself. And from this plane of changeless perfection, he commanded, See, hear, come forth, rise and walk. We think nothing at all of commanding the child to run upstairs or come to me or close the door. We know the child can do it, hence the command. A woman attended services at a church one night, taking with her a son, about 12 years of age, who was subject to what is called epilepsy. During the service, the boy was overcome by an attack of illness and was carried into another room. The mother was asked if she would like to have her boy treated, in quotes, and not knowing of what this consisted, but with the idea that it would be helpful, she replied yes. When the boy recovered, the practitioner said to him, Repeat after me, I am God's perfect child. The boy made no reply. The practitioner repeated his request, but still the boy made no attempt to obey. The practitioner then put his hand upon the boy's shoulder and commanded the boy, Say after me, I am God's perfect child. The boy then spoke as directed. Now the mother of the boy, who was listening as though spellbound, fainted. When recovered, she exclaimed, Those are the first words George ever spoke. He was born dumb. The practitioner did not know that the boy was dumb when he told him to speak. He believed the boy could speak, and acting upon the healer's command, the Christ of the boy responded, Believe that ye have, and ye shall manifest. Within and above the cocoon is the butterfly. Within and above the acorn is the oak. Within and above the 3-dimensional world is the city that lieth foursquare, the city New Jerusalem, that needs neither the light of the sun nor stars, that holds no sorrow or tears. Herein is no lack or loss. Herein is no evil, no power that can harm. Herein the lion and the lamb lie down together, and love divine rules over all. Quotes, And the city lieth foursquare, and the length is as large as the breadth. The length and the breadth and the height of it are equal. Revelation 21:16. That which is forever is the same. The city, in quotes, signifies truth, always and forever the same, from every side we view it, the changeless, the static, the immovable, the truth that is. The city that lieth foursquare is the finished kingdom. A quote from Science and Health. This sacred city, described in the Apocalypse as one that lieth foursquare and cometh down from God out of heaven, represents the light and glory of divine science. This heavenly city, lighted by the sun of righteousness, this new Jerusalem, this infinite all, which to us seems hidden in the midst of remoteness, reached St. John's vision while yet he tabernacled with mortals. The builder and maker of this new Jerusalem is God. This city is wholly spiritual, as its four sides indicate. It is indeed a city of the spirit, fair, royal, and square. This city of our God has no need of sun or satellite, for love is the light of it, and divine mind is its own interpreter. All who are saved must walk in this light. Why expect death to bring us these wonders? Why not experience them now? Water cleanses the body, right thoughts purify the mind. Love and illumination, meekness and might, faith and confidence to commend is the path of the soul, the path of the ever-present fourth dimension. A poem from John R. Clements. In the land of fadeless day lies the city foursquare. It shall never pass away, and there is no night there. God shall wipe away all tears. There's no death, no pain, no fears, and they count not time by years, for there is no night there. All the gates of pearl are made in the city foursquare. All the streets with gold are led, and there is no night there. And the gates shall never close to the city foursquare. There life's crystal river flows, and there is no night there. There they need no sunshine bright in that city foursquare, for the lamp is all the light, and there is no night there. As we rise in the scale of being, naturally we experience heavenly things and divine illuminations. The illumined find it hard to express or write about unseen things above, for the foolish-minded would defile it. High recognition does not spring from any organization of thought, but from the mount of vision. The kingdom of heaven is within us. Do we believe it? Do we claim it? Do we acknowledge it? Do we praise it? As heaven is within us, then perfection is within us. Light the mind with this truth and follow its vision. Following this high view, we behold that the above body is within us. The above body is the spiritual body. the eternal body, the immaculate body, the birthless and deathless body, the body that is never touched by pain, harmed by accidents, devoured by lions, or bitten by serpents. Lo, the body of this kingdom is greater than the fire, for fire cannot burn it. It is greater than the water, for water cannot drown it. It is greater than the prison bars, for prison bars cannot hold it. It is greater than sickness, for sickness is unknown to it. It is greater than death, for death never reaches it. The idea of death is a universal belief that must be set aside as we realize our birthless and deathless being. Soul is God, which always was and always shall be. Life, soul, spirit is not born, nor does it die. A quote from the Bhagavad Gita. Never the spirit was born. The spirit shall cease to be never. Never was time it was not. End and beginning are dreams. Birthless and deathless and changeless remaineth the spirit forever. Death has not touched it at all, dead though the house of it seems. Oh, wonderful, glorious body of God, the body that God pronounced good and perfect. Paul tells us that there is a natural body and there is a spiritual or supernatural body. There is a body belonging to the earthly plane, and there is a body belonging to the heavenly plane. Place the vision upon the spiritual body, the transcendental body, the body belonging to the fourth dimension. It is already prepared for us. Quote, "The flesh profiteth nothing. They who live in the consciousness of the body of flesh and bone live in the consciousness of sickness and death." Quote, "Flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God. They that are in the flesh cannot please God. Walk in the Spirit. Keep the vision away from the body of the three-dimensional world and recognize, claim, and acknowledge the supernal body. For, quote, "that which is born of the Spirit is Spirit." With what body did Jesus pass through the walls and doors? With what body did he walk over the water? With what body did he come from the grave? With what body did the three Hebrews live in the fire? With what body did John live in the boiling oil? With what body did Dorothy rise from her deathbed? With what body did I pass through the horse, wagon, and man? With the body that is ever present, above, within the body that is already prepared for us. Listen to the word of life. Quote, "That which has been is now, and that which is to be has already been. Thy hands have made me and fashioned me. In thy book all my members were written, when as yet there was none of them. The body of the heavenly is the first and the last, that which has been is now. Quote, for this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. When? Now. Quote, turn ye now from the evil of your doings, and dwell in the land that the Lord has given unto you. The hour cometh, and now is when the dead shall hear the voice of the Son of God, and they that shall hear shall live. Now is the day of salvation. Now are we the sons of God. Behold, now is the accepted time. Light the mind with this truth and follow its vision. Christ Jesus was the great ambassador of the finished kingdom. He represented the now. He stood for the real, the ever-present unseen. He said, everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice. I am come a light into the world, that whosoever believeth on me should not abide in darkness. I am from above. I am not of this world. It is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. And as ye go, preach, saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It was St. Paul who declared, there is one body and one spirit. Then have we not a body the same as that which Jesus had? The body that can pass through walls unharmed, stand upon the water and not drown, shine as the sun, come forth from the tomb and live, be carried up into the heavenly plane? Most certainly we have. Where is it? It is already prepared for us. It is ever present, waiting our recognition. At any moment, a touch of cosmic consciousness, the fourth dimensional kingdom, may reveal it unto us. Therefore, said the Master, watch,